Hello, welcome to The Price is Rice, run by me, Jonathan Valit, otherwise known as Wonton John. And here I have my host,
Chris Lundberg. And today we have a very special guest for our very first episode of our podcast, Austin Voss.
How's it going? I'm Austin.
Rolling it back, we are two Asian Americans currently living in Southern California, San Diego. And we started this podcast just to talk about our life stories, paranormal shit, anything that we're into, and give our perspective on whatever comes to mind.
Moving on, as of today, it's a bad day to be a Padres fan. Unfortunately, our star of our show, Fernando Tatis, has been suspended for 80 days in violation to the MLB drug use. He had a drug enhancement, I believe it was called Crustable, and it's supposed to help with, I can check with our technician here, Kenny.
So it said right here that the drug enhancement is actually made to be applied to any abrasions, erosions, lesions, so any tissue damage to the skin, but everyone's speculating that he used it for his aforementioned wrist injury earlier in the season, as well as earlier of last season.
Yeah, so Tatis has been the star of our show. Unfortunately, he has been out for the season of 2022. The Padres fans were really hoping for him to come back after we got our trade with Josh Bell, Juan Soto, Brandon Drury, and our new closing pitcher, I forget his name.
Josh Hader.
Josh Hader. Austin can add into it because him and I are both Padre fans, and we're both very, very disappointed into our season again.
Yeah, so one of the sources I read said that he, in his apology, in Tatis Jr.'s apology for his usage of, we'd have to search up what was the medical name of it, what he was using. It works like testosterone, basically.
Yeah, so it's called Clostebol, Austin.
Clostebol.
It's a synthetic anabolic steroid.
Okay. And he said he was using it to treat ringworm. That was supposedly, or what he said. According to this other source I'm reading here, he's apparently going to lose $1.5 million of his salary from this year, and next year he's going to lose $1.3 million because of all the time he's not going to be paid for this penalty. 80 games.
Yeah, and this is coming from his last year. His average was 282 percentage. He got a lot of hits, 135 hits, and I believe 42 home runs. We were hoping for him to come back. I believe it was scheduled for June. I believe so, around like late June, early July. But now we're not going to get him to like maybe a third of the way through our season, next season.
Yeah, it said he's going to miss 20% of his next season.
And this is hopefully, even though the Padres have been getting by somehow with Tatis, we got it pretty well. And now even with Juan Soto and all that, we're doing pretty good. Both Jonathan and Austin and I did go to a Padres game on Friday. Was it the 5th, I believe so?
And we fucking lost.
It was on the 4th.
Yeah, and we lost against the Rockies, which is... This is like the day after where we came out of nowhere and we just clapped the shit out of the Rockies, because that's when we got Brandon Drury and all that. Brandon Drury hit a grand slam, or slam Diego. The first time I've seen it this season so far. I believe the last person to get a grand slam was Jurickson Profar. I'm pretty sure the Dodgers are having a field day, or a fun day for them, finding out that Tatis is not going to be there, and we do have a rough road ahead. Especially, I think we played the Dodgers a couple more times and all that. But right now we're playing the Nationals. We did beat the Nationals today to 10-3, I believe so.
And the Dodgers right now are in a 10-game winning streak.
11 game.
11 games?
Yeah, I just saw a post. There are 11 games ahead right now, and it's just, no mas, no bueno. But you care to chime in, Jonathan? Because I know we went to the baseball game and you had a pretty fun time too.
Yeah, I haven't been to the baseball game in like probably about a year since I've been in Michigan. It was really cool to see all our players play now and all of our new players that are coming in as well. Rolling back to the whole doping scandal, that's just a street term, but yeah, it's a fairly common occurrence. Like all these major ball game players are always using performance enhancing drugs.
And it's more than just ball players. You know,
Yeah,
Lance Armstrong,
Lance Armstrong as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, I remember it. And it's just like for this, it's even worse because it's such a high-profile case. Because we were so like the spot was on him. He's going to come back next week and all that. But now he's not going to come back till next season, unfortunately. And it's just like, what can we do?
It's an even bigger problem when it comes to cross country sports as well.
Exactly.
Like soccer and biking is too, because it's technically legal in Germany as well.
Another thing you can touch up on is, that in Mexico it's actually sold and it's profited off of, it goes by the name of Trophobdermin S. So maybe his, somewhere down the line, his medical advisor told him to, resort to antifungal ointment, because that's exactly what ringworm is. It's a fungus. Where is it located? I can't tell you unless I do some more research right here. But most of the time, it comes in the form of a cream, a lotion, or even a powder sometimes, which is like really good. But if it was that big of an issue, then I feel like he was a little bit more not as well versed in his medical treatments, and that was kind of a ignorance on his part, because I know he was very eager to play. He was the star-studded young gun, what was it, a 21, 22-year-old walk-on fresh out of college, even? Something like that?
Yeah, I believe so. And his dad, even though his dad's very famous too, I believe he hit 2 grand slams in the same inning, I believe so. Or it was in the same game. But no, his dad was really good, and I feel like he has like a standard to live up to, because and plus he is the face of baseball, I would say. I mean, for at least for the most part, because last year he was on the show 2021. He was already on the front cover of that.
He was definitely the face of baseball and the notable character of San Diego.
Yeah, the San Diego Padres.
Some even said he was going to be the next Tony Gwynn, even.
Yeah, I remember talking to my manager when I worked at Sprouts. Him and I were big baseball fans too, and I came up to him and was like, this Tatis dude, like, I don't want to say it because I don't want to piss up any people who've been dedicated Padres fans since longer than I've been alive. I was going to say he's almost like the modern day Tony Gwynn, but we can't really say it because Tony Gwynn was his career average was 394.
I don't think that was his career average.
Was it?
That was one of his career high.
Career high.
It was like one of his seasons. He hit 394.
If we're talking batting average, he batted a 388 for overall career.
And that's still
dang.
That is still really, really good for
Wow.
Tony Gwynn. 388.
For real?
And then Tatis before, I believe his batting average was a 292, so he was pretty close. That's actually very close if you put it into perspective, comparing it to the entire roster of the MLB.
Yeah, or just like that MLB average. It's really, really amazing what those two kids did, or those two gentlemen did in their MLB careers.
Honestly, it is very tragic because this shall follow him for the rest of his baseball career.
Oh yeah, without a doubt, it is, and even everyone kept saying it. Even the game we're watching, the commentators on Apple TV saying it's gonna be a sting. It is gonna be a sting on his career. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
to put that into perspective, the outfielder Ty Cobb has the highest batting average spanning across a 24-season career at 366, and Tony Gwynn, I believe, only played how many seasons?
Was it close to 20? Because he was in there starting in '84 and he retired around 2001 or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Because it says right here 20 seasons, and he batted a what did I say, a
88, I think.
388. So it definitely, the years do kind of scale out the batting averages. Which I believe is kind of scary, to think about. Like, your arms must be tired from that.
Oh yeah. Okay, now we'll be moving on to our next segment. We'll be talking about the haunted story of the Queen Mary. I personally have a connection with this because there's tours on the Queen Mary where you can go even down to like the lower deck, and it's like they will tell you a story about what happened on the Queen Mary. Apparently, there gave us a story about a man who was playing chicken with the watertight compartment doors, and he was just going back and forth. And then apparently, as he was going back and forth, he got too late, and then he got cut in half.
Hibachi.
Exactly. So apparently there's a ghost haunting around, and as we're going on tours, I keep seeing like random people standing around. They weren't part of the tour. And then as we get to the boiler room, there's apparently they're talking about another story. I can't recall it because it's been at least 12 plus years since I've been to Queen Mary. And then like the bulk doors just burst open and water started flooding the room. And it's like, oh, you got to evacuate. So we evacuated and we back up to the top deck. And then after that, they told us another story about a gentleman who died in one of the suites there. And then he said, apparently he dies in there. It smells like smoke. I guess I don't know the whole story because I haven't remembered because it's been such a long, long time. Yeah, I remember saying just don't go too close to the door because the ghost might knock you down. This opens the whole story to like paranormal activity and all that. I believe Austin said he saw a documentary about it.
I watched, I'm sure a lot of people have seen this. It's the BuzzFeed Unsolved series with the paranormal places that they go to. It's with, what are their names? Shane and Ryan, I think. And they visited the Queen Mary, and they have like these tests that they do, and like they have what's it called, EVP, and then
electronic voice phenomenon.
Yeah, and that's like that box that they turn on, and it goes through a bunch of different radio frequencies. Yeah, and tries to get like a constant voice across different frequencies, and then they would, if they heard a voice that stayed over them, then they would claim it to be real or conclude it to be.
And just some trivia for you guys. The Queen Mary was actually the holder of the Blue Ribbon in 1936 until it lost it to I believe, the SS Normandy in 1937, but it recaptured that title back in 1930 and held it until 1952 when it was tragically taken by the by the SS United States.
I believe it was either Shane or Ryan on that show that captured a video from probably about 10 years ago.
It was Ryan.
Of his toothpaste falling over.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was pretty spooky footage to look at.
Did they stay in the room where the gentleman apparently died in, or?
I believe they laid out sleeping bags and they just slept in like a random room, if I'm right. Yeah.
Something like that.
Next door.
They slept next door.
Oh,
okay.
did they?
Close, very close to the room.
Because apparently the room's actually locked out, so you can't go in there.
Unfortunately, they didn't really catch anything spooky, but that video that he showed from about 10 years ago is really
It's like
interesting.
Yeah.
Yes.
Still a very popular video among the media.
Yes. Yes. Does anyone here have a spooky story that actually occurred to them?
I can see ghosts, but we'll save that story for another time.
Kenny can see ghosts, but that is a story for another time.
I don't think I have any good ones.
I feel like, when I worked at Sprouts, the one in Carmel, apparently everyone kept saying that the store is haunted. I feel like one time, it's just like weird because it's like there'll be lights that turn off, or like the curtains that you use to close up the produce section, like because we have curtains that close up the vegetables and all that. one time I was talking to my manager, Justin, and I was just chatting up. We were planning to go get drinks after that, and then all of a sudden we see two of the curtains go up, and there's like no one near the produce department, and it's just me and him in the store, and we're like, what the fuck just happened? And we look over there, and we don't see anybody, and it's just like, and he looks at me and said, Chris, I know you just started working here, but this place is haunted. And I'm like, what? And I was like, what do you mean it's haunted? He's like, yeah, apparently there's like a ghost coming around and all that. So there's that. And not fun, working at Sprouts, and then you just find out there's a ghost or potentially a spirit. But honestly, I would probably say there's a spirit haunting Sprouts because that store is so cursed. So many things have happened.
Speaking of cursed, I actually do have a cursed story. So I live up in Escondido, so I had to drive quite a bit of ways to get down here to help you guys around this. I had to drive quite a bit of ways to come here, but I do drive back home pretty late, and there's a street on my corner called Oak Hill Drive. That is a very cursed intersection because there's always people, pedestrians getting hit by cars, people always getting into mysterious car accidents there. Just last night, actually, I was driving back home after celebrating Chris's birthday. Happy belated birthday, by the way, Chris. There were 12 squad cars pulled up outside of an apartment. Fortunately, it was a drug bust. No one got injured, but a couple years back, there was a 3-year-old girl that got hit on that corner by a drunk driver. And a couple months before that, a couple, I believe, an elderly couple, got hit by another drunk driver on the exact same corner. Driving past that, you'll see like 3 headstone memorials. One for the little girl in front of, I believe, is a church. That's where they had her viewing. I remember driving past that a little bit. There's balloons, teddy bears, stuffed animals, anything that she would have loved. And then just across the way, where there was an old bench, I believe, not for a bus stop, just a bench that people could sit at. I think a memorial bench. The elderly couple got hit right in front of that. And there's memorials for the both of them. So driving up and down that street, you'll see the 3 headstones, and very occasionally, I've actually experienced this myself because, I can see ghosts, Jonathan. But ideally, you would actually see said little girl like running across the street, and sometimes the crosswalk would just randomly turn to a walk sign when the light is red. So say you're heading east to west, the north and south directions of the crosswalk would be a walk sign when the light is still red. So people going east and west, their light's green. So you would have that cross section of where she would have been hit. And I've witnessed this like at least twice a week. It's pretty crazy. It normally occurs on a Thursday and a Sunday. And you do kind of see like a small girl figure running up and down the street. And you'll see the elderly couple kind of just standing by the bench. And that is my paranormal stories for the day. And I have plenty more that I can share with you guys.
Well, thank you, Kenny, for sharing that. Definitely spooky indeed. Our main host, Chris, needs to take a quick pee. So we have Austin sitting at his mic now.
Just have an
Howdy,
open
dude.
dialogue or something like that.
So, going back, we'll have our own podcast about our urban exploration adventures, but one in particular. If you ever heard of Faze Rugg, Faze Rugg comes from San Diego. He used to live in a neighborhood called Mira Mesa before he made it big and moved to LA. Well, Mira Mesa is about 15 minutes from where we all live, and there's this particular tunnel there that he made a lot of videos on back in 2016. And through a lot of extensive research from me on Google Maps, I was able to find it. So yeah, we all buddied up and we went there one summer in 2016. And we got about a mile down into the tunnel. It's actually very sketchy when you go up to it. There's a lot of graffiti and satanic marks and shit. It actually drains right into a swamp. But going back to what happened is we were all maybe about a mile in. It's super wet, murky. There's spiders, cockroaches everywhere. And we turned our lights off because we heard something. It sounded like a little girl. And all of us shut our lights off. And we're like, hey, we hear something. And then we hear it. And it was like, ew! And this like fucking scream wasn't loud, but it was like extremely audible. Like something was very close to us. And we all just fucking ran out back to the entrance, and we got the fuck out of there. Excuse my language.
No, that's okay. So going back to, was that the time where we went with the big group of people and there's other people there? Or is that the time we went by ourselves?
That was probably the second time we went, if I remember correctly. The first time we never experienced anything.
I thought from the first time, this is from my perspective of the thing, I do believe that I was recording something and I kept shooting this airsoft gun thinking we were going to kill the ghost. This is a high school me. And I kept shooting, but in the video recording we had, it was a very, very faint scream. It was like, ah. And we fucking heard it, and we fucking just ran. We all started screaming back and running back to the end of the tunnel. And that was just a very, very, oof. It's just like, we just booked it. I believe Jonathan fell.
I did fall over, yes. And I got a lot of mud on my pants. But, yeah. And I actually did, I forgot that we did get that voice on video.
Yeah.
So, I think it's private on YouTube, but we could always post.
Yeah, we could probably just post a clip and post editing and all of that. But I believe Austin, you were there. Were you there for the first time or the second time?
I'm pretty sure it was the second time because I think when we went, you guys already had like a video of you going down there. I think it was, who was it? Was it like you?
It was our friend Elias and Hamze, and I believe Elias the first time bought fake blood and he sprayed it all over the tunnel just to prank Hamze and us.
Okay,
But,
yeah, I think the first time is when we had the big group of people. It was both us three, then Justin, Sammy, Lucas, Jordan, and John, I believe so. And that was like the biggest group. And there was some random kids there too. And, you know, that worked in Elias's favor because they saw the blood and they're like, yo, what the hell? Because back then, FaZe Rug was really, really big for his videos, especially some of his videos. And speaking of FaZe Rug, now I work at Target in Del Sur, and actually I've seen him come to my Target several times. And I think I actually helped him out. He was helping some another influencer who promotes what is it? I believe he promotes like people with disabilities or extra chromosomes.
Oh,
yeah.
Make-A-Wish?
And it wasn't Make-A-Wish. It was actually a guy who does some stuff on it, and they were doing like a Morty McFly kind of bit, and they were just trying to promote awareness of people who have disabilities and all that.
That's really cool. I do have a story with Make-A-Wish, and that's for another podcast.
But you know, it's you know, it's back then, like our high school years was just full on exploring abandoned places and all that. I remember us going to this Lake Elsinore.
Yes,
Lake Elsinore trip.
The military.
Lake Elsinore?
Yes,
Yeah.
the Lake Elsinore Military Academy.
We did whatever we wanted.
Or it wasn't really a military. It was like a boys' academy.
Yes.
And it was just like, it's this lake in Lake Elsinore. This is just north of San Diego, about another 40. It's past Temecula.
It's already an hour away from me.
So-
I live up in Escondido.
So that's about an hour and a half from where you live to Lake Elsinore. It's north of Temecula. It's just this giant lake out in the middle of nowhere. I believe our minor league team is up there when it comes back to baseball. I forget what they're called. The Lake Elsinore
Is it the Storm or something?
Storms or something like that.
Seagulls or something.
Yeah, and you know, it's pretty amazing to just realize that. I believe there wasn't any stories from there, but if you go into the Lake Elsinore Academy, if you're even able to get in there, because there's a sign saying that we have the right to shoot you if we catch you trespassing on our territory. And
just to reiterate real quickly, they are called the Lake Elsinore Storm. So
thank you. And I remember there were signs saying we had the right to shoot you on sight. And I had the idea saying they're not going to shoot kids, and everyone else says like, I guess you're right, they're not going to shoot kids. So we went in there too, and also there was neighbors who lived nearby near this plot of land, and they're like, hey, as long as you don't destroy anything, we don't care.
We were given the okay, and we actually bumped into a friend of the owner who was just putting golf balls off into the lake, and he gave us the okay to go there, but the only problem is that it was boarded up. And it was boarded up not with nails, with screws.
And it was like the star.
It was with star bit screws. And we didn't have any screwdrivers with us. But just out of luck that day, in his car, Austin had a star bit screwdriver.
Yeah.
Out of luck. Not a Phillips. Not a flathead. It was a star bit screwdriver.
It was the only one I had in the car too.
And it worked. And we were able to pull all the nails off and get the floorboard off, which we probably shouldn't have done, but it was the only way to get in there.
Yeah.
So we went in through the basement. We got to explore the whole place. And really weird thing about it is that there are stairwells in there that lead to nowhere. And it is very spooky. There's also a big like paper mache collage with a bunch of newspapers dating back to like the 60s and 70s.
Yeah.
And they all have inverted crosses on their foreheads, scratched on, and their eyes are scratched out. And that is what is very sus about it. Other than that, nothing really spooky happened there. Although we did find a random pill on top of a washing machine.
Molly. We found
yes,
Molly.
we believe it was ecstasy or Molly. Other than that, nothing really happened though. And we can talk about this more on a different podcast. We have a lot of adventures to talk about.
And we have many more podcasts to record. We'll probably have, unfortunately for this episode and the next episode, we're only going to be recording 2 here together because Jonathan will be going back to Michigan. He's been staying at my place. So it was awesome to stay at my place for the majority of the summer. But, it's good to have people on here. And we also have our audio technician, Kenny, who's been helping us, and also having his own insight, which is good because it's good to have more opinions into the whole podcast. Even though it's our first podcast, it's always good to have more voices to be heard.
Yes. We could possibly continue this through Discord, or just wait a whole year till I get back. I only got 1 more semester till graduating, and I will move the fuck out of Michigan, come back to my hometown of San Diego, California. I miss it here a lot.
Me too, dude.
Maybe one of these days I'll take a more prominent seat because I'm just here making sure you guys sound well.
So, to reiterate, does anybody have any more paranormal stories? No?
That's it for me. I'll save that for a Halloween
Okay.
episode.
Alright, wait. Let's bring it back a little bit because we still got a little bit more to time. Let's bring it back to FaZe Rug. I actually bumped into FaZe Rug about 5 or 6 years ago. This is just when he moved to Poway, California, when he bought his mansion here. We were all coming back. We were actually coming back from the Navy Academy that day. And we pulled up to a gas station. And this big fucking Range Rover pulls up. White Range Rover. This is before he had his Lamborghini. He pulls up. It's bumping music. And this really short dude comes out of the car. And we were expecting FaZe Rug to be about probably like 6 feet or more. He's probably a little under I'd say 5'10", maybe.
No,
I'd
I
say
would
like 5'5".
5'5".
No. Yeah, actually, so I seen him in person too. He's about the same size about me. I would say I'm like 5'7", 5'7.5". And like I just came with him to shake his hands and hey, you're FaZe Rug, aren't you? And he's like, yeah. I was like, he was just asking me for help. And I that was the first time I ever saw him. I didn't realize he was that short.
Oh, is that
At Target.
At Target?
Yeah. And also especially like 4S, dude. You see a lot of like famous YouTubers. I seen who's that famous influencer who's Asian? I forget his name. Rice Gum. Yeah, I seen Rice Gum, and I seen his
Rice Gum.
Yeah, dude, Rice Gum came to Sprouts, and I'm like, what? Why you at Sprouts of old places? Like, I expect you to be at Target. And also, you see famous, like, I seen a famous basketball player from the Clippers. Starts with Q or, like, I don't know, but
Kawhi?
Kawhi, yeah, he comes
You
to
saw Kawhi?
dude. I saw him at Target in Del Sur. I'm like, what? What are you doing here? And like, I saw Rice Gum at Target too, and like, I was just like, I'm more astonished that he came to Sprouts, but he was with his girlfriend.
We have another famous YouTuber that used to go to our high school at Rancho Bernardo High School. I believe his name is TJ Hunt, and he drives a yellow Lamborghini around sometimes, and we see him.
He actually, I'm very well versed in TJ Hunt. He actually drives a lot of souped up, clapped out JDM cars nowadays. I actually see him drive around Escondido because that's where he lives now. I see his, I believe his Range Rover or one of the Jeeps that he drives up at the 24-hour Fitness by the Escondido Mall. But typically I'll see his Mark V Supra kind of cruising up and down Bear Valley Parkway.
It's cool about San Diego. Like, usually our northern neighbor LA gets all the attention, but like LA, or San Diego, you'd be surprised how many famous people like come down here or even like live down here.
It's because we're more laid back.
The actress that plays White Canary in like DC Legends of Tomorrow, she's an alumni from RBHS as well. I forgot her name. That's and Blink 182, but they're not really alumni, they're dropouts.
Yes. Well, yes. Blink 182 originally went to Poway High School, and they got in trouble for drinking at a baseball game, I believe, and it was their drummer that was transferred to RB, I believe.
No, it was
They transferred
Tom
to
DeLonge.
Poway.
Was it Tom DeLonge?
Tom DeLonge
Yeah.
and Travis Barker. The third guy, I forgot the third guy's name, but he went to Poway, and I think he actually just got expelled and didn't come back to high school. But I believe they continued their sophomore, junior year, then dropped out after that and just proceeded to make music. And I'd say they're pretty big now.
Yeah,
You know who else that is also notable from the Poway School District and that went to Poway High School is our boy Bobby Lee, who is actually an alumni from Poway High School. He graduated in the 80s, I believe. And, yeah.
I think my mom went to high school with him at one point because she went to Poway High School.
That's awesome.
Bobby Lee's family is very, very like famous too. Like even like three of his nephews and nieces actually, two of his nephews went to our school too, and one of his nieces went there. They're known as the Williams family, and they're like really, really, like I would say well known. I would say the sister Malia is a model and all that. And Alinka, who Austin knows well, and I know him from third grade, from like because we had the same teacher, and him and I talked a bit. He probably doesn't remember me because it's been a while, but
And he's on the big.
he's
big
on.
things.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he's on high A for the minor leagues, and I believe he got
baseball.
signed by the who was it? Tampa Bay. So
Was
he's
it?
an affiliate of Tampa Bay, and that's
Awesome, man.
it's really nice, and both going back to the whole baseball thing, it's really, really nice. And also another person that both Austin knows, who's actually in the majors right now. He's on the Pittsburgh Pirates. What's his name again? Calvin
Mitchell.
Mitchell. Oh my God! When we saw him, he came his first plate appearance, right?
Yeah.
He did really, really good.
Yeah, he did, dude.
I think
In his first game.
Another notable alumni from actually our graduation year, Matt Araiza, Buffalo Bills.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness!
He just got drafted too, didn't he?
Yeah, he got drafted. He ran his Columbine. His 40 meter was 4.1. It was 4.1.
And didn't he kick like one of the furthest like?
He did kick one of the
Punts or
furthest
something.
during the combine, and one of his notable plays is actually featured on ESPN when he kicks from 25 to 25 and makes the tackle at the I believe the 30, if not the 20.
Wow.
Jeez, that's just amazing.
He's got a cannon for a
Yeah,
leg.
dude, RB makes really, really good athletes, and I would say their baseball and their
Bred to perform.
football are like really, really good and top tier. I believe actually the head coach for the football team for the RB is the former
Eric
Chargers.
Weddle, I believe, is
Yeah.
gonna be the leading the team at RB for the varsity team. I think he was starting out as an assistant coach, and now he's like actually moving up to top dog.
And it's just amazing that, you know, it sucks that we're not there to experience the moment, and both my brothers are not really into the whole sports scene, at least as of now. But it's just like cool to find out like how much has changed. And also going back to our school, you know how this is Nelvin gave me the update. He's going to be our next guest in the next podcast. But Nelvin told us that they changed the school. It's all different now. So the grass quad actually has a tree, and there's like a pathway with little benches along the side of the pathway. There's a tree in the middle of the grass quad. But like when I went,
5 like sprigs just laid around the outside.
oh no, they got rid of everything. So graduation year for Jason, we went there. It looked like a prison. Everything was dead. So they were.
It always looks better at the beginning of the year and just slowly.
Yeah, but no, like it was just completely dead, and no one said it. Just like it was like salt and like dirt. That's all it was. And it looked ugly. It looked like grim and all that. But no one said it looks really, really nice. There's plants everywhere. They got rid of the trees on the side, but there's this one big tree in the middle, I guess.
I think there's a reason why they waited so long to change everything up. It's because our generation of kids are a bunch of fuckheads. Whenever they would add something new to the school, such as the emblem and the quad, someone would always graffiti a dick. Every fucking time.
And it costed them $800.
$800 for an RB emblem.
They did it twice.
They had to change
Did
the
it
locks
twice.
on some of those
They
doors,
didn't
too.
learn the first time, and another kid went and drew a dick.
Yeah.
All fucking time.
Even going back, especially our senior year, Austin's a grade above us. But dude, there were so many Nazi symbols and like death threats from like everything. It's just completely like. I remember one time. This was
Death
junior.
threats with the grammatical errors.
Yeah, I remember our junior year. We were doing that. I was doing those testings on the computer, and unfortunately I got that. Who's that fucking guy's name? That fucking guy who does like computer science, and he's like a dick, and he doesn't even want to even be there.
Callan?
No, not Calvin.
No,
This is
Callan's the digital media. He's a great guy.
Dunley or something like. I know Neville said he hates him too.
Dunley?
He doesn't want to be there. So
Is he the really old guy?
old guy. Yeah, he used to have like a government job that paid him more.
Doesn't he have like an accent, like a
No,
British accent?
no, I don't. I never had him, so I can't.
Maybe, I don't know then. I
But
forget.
yeah, but apparently there was a lockdown. This is the time where someone left a note in the boys' bathroom saying a white boy's gonna trip to school. White 110.
I remember that.
I remember that. And
Got
then
white
we were
people.
locked down, and I remember the announcement because it sounded weird because you never hear that type of announcement before. Like you know when it's a drill, when they say, "Oh, we're gonna go on lockdown," but hey, this is not a drill. Everyone go on lockdown mode.
Yeah.
And then I remember this guy, because we're doing the testing on the computer. Everyone was done. He said, "No one can go on their phone." And then, and I'm like, what the fuck? I'm gonna go on my phone. And he looked at me, and said, "If you go on your phone, I'll take it away from you." I'm like, what a fucking dick. I'm like, I need to let my mom know. And my mom apparently was just spam calling me the whole time and all that. And she said, "Oh, Christopher, I'm gonna come over there and we walk over to school." It's like, Mom, if there's an actual threat, why would you come to the school? And plus, you have to walk here too, because at the time my family didn't have a car, or even right now I don't even have a car, because of what happened recently.
Would you like to
Story
talk
for
about
another
that?
time.
We can talk about it another time, but oh my god,
We got 14 minutes. You want to talk about it?
I don't know about that. It's
You can tell the long story short. if
long
you
story
want to.
short, my car got hit by a drunk driver
Who stole the car?
who stole the car and all that, and both Austin and I were in the vehicle, and we could have been killed. We were going to play baseball.
Yeah, we were gonna go play baseball, and then they ended our summer career. Basically.
Yeah, because now we can't really play baseball. So we can
You
play
got me to drive.
now. No, well, I can't properly swing, and he can't really extend himself really.
Yeah, because I'll get a headache if I try to do it.
But long story short, we're all in a whole legal case, and this is a whole mess. But other than that, it's unfortunate that it had to happen.
I
miss
think
my
the
car.
story alone could be a podcast within itself.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
There's just
I
so
just-
much extensive details.
Yeah, it's just it sucks too, and I was joking yesterday. We're celebrating my birthday, and I think Miguel asked me. He was at the party with one of us, a friend of mine. He's like, "Hey, what do you want for your birthday?" He's like, "I just want a car." 'Cause this fucking can't tuck my fucking independent now to rely on people to give me rides, which I feel really bad for. But I'm also grateful that people are able to give me rides and all of that.
Future episode, we will talk about all the legal cases that we have been through, and I have a very special one to talk
Oh,
about.
dude, don't tell me. Oh,
Oh my
not legal
goodness.
cases. That's
Oh,
so
All I
bad.
have to say right now is toilet paper,
Toilet
Oh
paper.
no.
and that is your little preview. That'll probably be episode 3 or 4. Who knows?
All right. Okay, moving on to our final segment. We're going to be putting our guest to a paranormal activity scenario.
Oh, pretty cool.
So, Austin, going back to the whole Queen Mary thing, or we can change it up as we go.
I think I have a scenario. You're going through sleep paralysis.
Oh, sleep paralysis is something else.
Oh
That
god.
is a natural
All
phenomenon.
right. Yeah, we can talk about that for about 10 minutes.
But
Who here has had sleep paralysis? I'd say everybody. It's a very common occurrence.
I just had sleep paralysis today.
Oh,
So,
no.
speaking of which, so I was Austin. Austin was dead asleep, and I kept hitting my pen. It kept hitting my nicotine pen. I thought for some reason I got really slippery, so I just slumped on my chair and just looked, and I was opening my eyes and I see a fucking demon on my fucking screen. I'm like, what the fuck? And I woke up like that, and Austin's like, Chris, or I don't think Austin said anything. I just woke up. I was like, what the fuck just happened? I looked around. Austin's dead asleep still, and I'm like, what?
Okay, so you're one of the people that can see shit.
Oh yeah, I can see. Also, I
Okay.
remember one time I wanted to test that sleep paralysis so I can go to REM sleep and try to control my dreams, but all I fucking did is I was on my bed right there. And I put my head down, and I see a fucking I open my eyes just for a little bit. I see the fucking ring bitch face right there. I was like, what the fuck? And going back to, I'll tell you another story after this. And I looked at it, but it was speaking in my dad's voice.
What the fuck?
I was like, what the fuck? He's like, hey, Chris. And I shook up and fell
What
off my
the
bed.
fuck, bro? Okay.
Dude, it's fucking crazy.
What time was this at?
This was around 8 o'clock. It was 2 years ago, height of COVID. And I was just testing it out. And this one time, this is before I lived in the old apartment 25, or 22. I was in my bed and I woke up, but I was in sleep paralysis mode because I woke up. But I hear the mouth chomping, this teeth chomping, and I see the fucking ring bitch again, and she's walking toward me, crawling to me. And I was like, what? I can't do that. I'm just freaking. So I just moved my head to the side. Then her face is right
What
in front
the
of me.
fuck?
Dude, it's so fucked. I fucking hate sleep paralysis, dude.
I can't imagine because I can't open my eyes when I get it.
So do you feel stuff on you or anything?
No, the only way I can get out of it is if I move a limb. So I try my hardest and I usually just punch the air and I wake up.
No, for me, I try to move and all that, and then I can't breathe, and after that, for some reason, I just warp into reality, and I'm there. But yeah, no, dreams are pretty crazy. There's another dream I'll tell you guys. I think I told you two before, but I haven't shared it before on the podcast. But that'll be for another episode because it's a very, very interesting story that I had a dream. Actually, I probably have a dream journal somewhere around here that I wrote it down. Because I actually keep a dream journal log, but oh boy, man, it's crazy.
I have this one that I wrote down about because, so a long story short, I was given a call by my mom. This is, so I'm in a dream. I'm given this call by my mom. She tells me I need to go pick up my sister and bring her to a friend's house. And she wants me to hang out there with her and make sure, because this would have been her first time hanging out with her or something like that. And so I go over there and walk into the house. Everything's all normal, and I get introduced to my sister's friend has a brother, and then he wants to hang out with me and play video games. I'm like, oh, okay. And so we play video games for the night. Everything's all normal. Then we go to sleep. But the place that I go to sleep is really weird. Imagine you're in a 2-story home, and instead of a stairway, there's literally a ladder up to a loft with an open roof, so you could see where it the beams and stuff up there holding up the roof, and it's almost like you're in a barn or something. And I went to sleep up there. I woke up the next morning and everything was different. And this was all happening in a dream. And it was the weirdest thing because I woke up the next morning and it felt like everything was darker. Like there was rain outside, and this kid, like, well, first of all, I woke up and my freaking like ankles were tied to the bed, and I was like, what is going on right now? I need to get out of here. I need to get out of this situation. I don't remember how I got out of that, but I ended up getting down. My sister wasn't there anymore, and it was just the kid, like the boy that wanted to hang out with me, and he had a gun, and I started running away. I was like, what is going on? I start running towards the door, and then I heard a loud bam, and I looked at my shoulder, and it was so weird. This is how I knew it, like, I positively was in a dream, and I was like, okay, I'm like, this isn't actually happening. I looked down at my shoulder, and it was almost like if it was like made out of clay or something. It's like as if there was like no blood or anything in it. It looks like just a part of my shoulder was shedded off and was like skin, like a nub.
Jesus.
I was like, what? I felt like pain though. I felt like I was in pain. I was like, what is going on? And then I think I was like that for 20 minutes. I was sitting there, and this kid had like, he had the gun like pointed at me, and he was telling me, you can't leave. You can't leave. And then I woke up because my mom called me.
Oh my God.
I think the craziest dreams I've had is like no matter how it goes, it always ends with me in the middle of an intersection staring at a guy dancing in a banana suit, specifically doing the peanut butter and jelly time dance. And that's how I know I'm nearing like the end of my dream and it's time to wake up. I don't know how it happens.
That's pretty funny.
It's fucking crazy. Every dream.
I've had a dream once where I lived the whole life as someone else, and I fell in love, got married, and it ended on a Ferris wheel.
Thank you for that, Chris.
Bro.
And yes, another rule about the podcast is if someone farts, we're going to say who did it. And this time it's Chris.
I feel like the next one's gonna come out. I'm just gonna shit myself, dude. We just had Taco Bell before we ate. So yeah, and there's more food for me from Taco Bell, so I might eat that and probably shit myself
I have to
later.
open the window now. It's getting
Now
hot
it's
from that.
but the AC should be on. We just have to have the fans on to circulate. But you know, that's just how it is. You know, it just comes out. And I don't know why you guys.
just
Let
comes
nature
out.
take its course.
Speaking of which, I remember I was in Discord, and this is with our friend Alexa, and I was playing League, and there was some other dude in there too, and we were playing League, and I just ripped ass, but Austin wasn't there for that. This is a different time, and I didn't say anything, and the other guy's like, dude, what, did you just fart? And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And
That was
Alexa,
probably me saying that.
no, it was someone else. And Alexa's like, I'm pretty sure you're farted. I was like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Are we just gonna end every podcast with a fart story?
I mean, we could do that. I know, no, to reference I'm not trying to steal at them, but I love their podcast very much. Super Mega Cast, they have a random bit where they always fucking rip ass, and it's like, sometimes it's like stuff, they're actually fucking doing it, or the other times it's like, they just put a fucking sound bit, and I remember they're doing this one other sound bit, and it was just like constant farting. No, like, it's just like an audio file, and I remember one part, it was just complete wet. It was a wet sound and all of that. It was just fucking nasty, dude. Yeah, it sounded like that, and like, oh my god.
Why did that sound so wet and so long? How much did you eat?
Okay, all right.
Clean, family friendly humor.
Yeah, by the way, all those sounds they were making are completely fake. The one I made came out of my ass, so
We don't need clarification on that.
so ignore these posers. Like, for me, I am being genuine when it comes to my bits.
Shut up. I'm the fart master.
What the?
And they're currently beating each other up right now.
Oh yeah, that'll be a common
That's not on
occurrence.
the cue cards, is it?
We don't
That's
go
not part. That's not
we
part
don't
of
go
the
by
script, is
we
it?
don't-
This is why I told you. We get a little chaotic sometimes. It's fine. Fuck this script.
Okay, yeah, no, I can't rip ass anymore because I'm gonna fucking shit myself.
So if I turn to page 52 of the script, it says Austin's supposed to fart next.
I need more Taco Bell.
That's literally in 2 pages, Austin. That's not part of the script either.
I need more Taco Bell.
Did we put that into the script?
I don't think
That would have been something Chris would put in the script.
Something so meta, fourth wall breaking. That
It's not in the script.
Yeah, he wanted to do it so that after his fart, I would be the one who would capture everyone's attention because I would be the final one.
Oh, it does say that right here.
All
I
right.
highlighted it too.
There's no script, guys. This is pure, just whatever comes out of our mouths.
I'm about to blow your mind real quick, Chris. How do you know that's not part of the script either? Maybe I wrote it down and you're reading it right now.
Don't ignore him. He's just a technician. But
I just
other than
like
that, we are coming to the end of our podcast.
Hold up, 3 minutes left. Random event. Throw
Alright.
something out right now, and we react to it.
We were gonna do that. Then we talked about our
Let's
paranormal.
fucking do another one. Ow! Fuck you. All right. Throw something out there. We'll react to it.
Okay, so if you guys were given the option to sleep in the haunted room with a guy died in the Queen Mary, or spend a night at the Phase Rug Tunnel, or the bridge where a former police officer used to throw bodies off, and you.
Okay, Phase Rug Tunnel. Fuck that. Either Queen Mary or the fucking tunnel.
No,
Or, I mean, the
The
fucking
bridge.
bridge. The bridge.
I think
So-
I'd do the bridge.
So the location of the bridge that is under the 15 heading northbound under the Ted Williams Parkway exit.
Or it's the Scripps Poway Parkway.
Yeah. So also
Yeah,
there-
Parkway.
there's a little hobo camp that used to be up there. Yeah, you'll be in that part. I think there's a burial there because there's a pile of rocks in the corner in the shape of a grave. So,
I think I accidentally defaced that.
Oh, there's also a monument there as well. That's for her.
but I
And
think I
also,
remember defacing
what
that
would you
part.
guys do, and what would you bring to that scenario?
Well, can we camp on the bridge?
No, you're gonna be at the hobo camp.
What's,
So
That's
the hobo,
up. That's up all the way fucking up that hill.
yeah,
Oh,
like
dirt and
underneath,
rocks.
like the
And it's
actual
caged.
yes.
Oh, fuck that. I ain't spending a night there. I'm spending a night in the fucking Queen Mary. Alright? I'd rather have a haunted roommate than stay at a hobo camp. Or a dark ass tunnel. At least in the Queen Mary, if it's like a luxury room, I don't give a shit if it's haunted.
it's a luxury
Alright?
room.
I have Mr. Ghost
Luxury
over there.
haunted.
I have Mr. Ghost over there, me and fucking Jesus, okay? I didn't mean to say fucking before that. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry to the Lord Christ.
I am a man of Christianity. Alright?
Of Jesus folks.
I'm not the best Christian ever, but I mean, like,
Okay, how about you, Miss Austin? For you, we're gonna give you a set scenario. You're in the Queen Mary, and like there's an actual ghost in there, and you have to fucking sweep on the bed where the guy died on.
Like you're saying, what would I do if I was in
Yeah,
that
you have
scenario?
to stay there.
A, probably piss my pants. B, how long would I be there? Like
A
be
whole
literally
Wait,
the
wait,
entire
wait,
night.
Hold on.
From-
This is
from-
as if they're
from
options
not-
on the test.
From 9 p.m. to 6 a.m.
hey, we don't have to
Oh,
sleep,
no,
right?
a solid 24 hours.
We don't have to
24
sleep,
hours?
right?
Dude,
No, you
24
And there's no
have to
lights.
sleep.
Like we'll,
we
we'll
have to
cover up the
sleep?
lights.
You're on your last night.
like pitch black. Like I can't see.
Okay,
anything.
so
think
we
about it
we
like this.
have to sleep and there's no electricity.
No, you have to sleep.
And the blinds
It's
are
literally
covered.
the boat is in the state that it is. It's been I think the term is marauded.
Yeah.
Yeah, which means it's out of commission. The only power that they have are literally the ceiling lights in the hallways. No running water. No.
Oh
No,
fuck
they
that!
have, they have running water in the
You have
ship.
running water there?
Yeah, so
That's
like,
even worse. What if the fucking water starts dripping by itself? Right?
Wait.
Well,
So
you gotta remember, this boat's been around since like 1930. So
yeah,
it was obviously
and it was
it was a
World War II
ship
carrier when we used to do that. So and
Well, the only lights are in the hallway. I'm opening the fucking door.
you know what? How about this? I will do the bridge thing. I'll sleep where the hobo camp is. It's not caged up. It's like with a little hill. It's like a little hobo camp.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's like a pipe cage, but the door.
But the pipe cage is connected to a bridge. But there's like a little flat part of dirt where you can actually stand on.
Oh,
I do the tunnel personally.
But there's
I
like
do the face
water in the tunnel though.
Yeah,
That's
but
what
also
we're
like
hearing
flash
now.
flood warnings have been going on lately.
Who says
Okay,
that?
so like
You have to
dry.
be in the tunnel.
Yes,
Ooh. Probably bring
a hammock.
a hammock, yeah.
No,
Get
I'll
my
probably
ass
I'll
a
probably do
little
like the bridge just because it's like you're like a hobo living on a bridge. That's fucking cool. I don't care if there's like a speed demon that's gonna fucking eat my soul. I'm fucking good.
How many things am I allowed to bring?
We'll say 3.
No phone.
Okay, yeah, no phone. That's
3
fine.
things, but no modern technology.
No modern technology. You'll have food and all the other stuff.
Food will be provided.
Yeah, that's
Food will be
provided.
provided. And
I heard that
I wonder if that picked up. Somebody just sneezed.
that's the ghost.
If I could only
3
pick
things.
3 things, a flashlight that doesn't die. I would probably want one of those EVP boxes to try, like,
To catch her voice or something.
yeah, to try and like speak or something, like see if there's anything that comes in on the other through the frequencies or whatever. And then third thing, I'd probably want a book to distract myself.
What
Was
kind
that-
of book?
A non-scary book?
How about 50 Shades of Grey?
No.
Yes.
I would
50 Shades
bring
darker.
I would bring the entire Diary of a Wimpy Kid series.
Yeah, let's go.
There you
The
go.
entire series from start to right now.
And then I would read it over and over again until I was done.
Yeah, I could finish one of those books in like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's what, like probably 7 now.
No, there's a lot more.
13.
There's 13 now.
No, there's actually 17 books.
Oh,
Yeah,
that'll
new one
get
just came out.
that'll get us through tonight. Remember when each book was a year and now it's just like purgatory? Yeah, I remember that.
Okay, but if I had to trade, if there was a trade where I could get one thing, or basically like one type of thing in exchange for the 3 things, like no flashlight or those things, if the one condition was I had to constantly be watching a scary movie, I would do that.
You'd watch a scary movie.
Because at
Then
least it's like,
experience it.
at least it's like something that it would have like at least a bit of like entertainment factor to it.
I feel like being in the room with the ghost is entertaining enough. Can I change my answer? I'd do the Queen Mary. Because, like, there's already a bed there. You just have to lay
Yeah.
in it.
Nice.
Yeah, and the fucking the
rats.
smoking ghost fan comes and beats the shit out of you.
I mean, okay, so if I had my choice, I'd bring a lighter, an aerosol can, and my vapes.
All right. Well, I guess does this wrap it up for that podcast?
1 hour pilot. I think it's pretty
So-
good.
Thank you for Austin being here and Kenny for being our audio technician and
I'll be
researcher.
back.
Yeah,
It's
he'll
nice
be
to be
back.
here.
And also next week we'll have my brother Nelvin come back. We'll be talking about his high school stories and stories that both Nelvin and I had to deal with as a child, for our kids and all that. And yeah.
Yeah, I'd be willing to tell a little bit of high school as well because I have a lot of crazy shit.
All right. And thank you for listening to our podcast. This is The Price is Rice.
Yes, yes. Also, we are in need of another microphone, so if you have any, please send them to us. Just kidding. Thank you.
White jeans.